even friends. But to save themselves, no, to save the world, they must uncover the mysteries that bind them together.
Who killed the Emperor of Drakarn? Why did Kael steal the Scroll of Kaldrathar? Who's responsible for the chaos unfolding in Scaranthale? And how is it all connected?
2 separate groups of companions intend to find the answers.
The first sets out to find the Emperor's murderer and comes face to face with a monster of untold horrors, though someone else seems to be pulling the strings.
The second infiltrates the Imperium and orchestrates a prison break of the one person who can tell them the truth behind the scroll.
They're one step closer to finding the answers they seek, and the path ahead is more dangerous with every step they take. Welcome to Tabling the Narrative, a World Anvil sponsored podcast where we take a closer look at different aspects of a story. We're your hosts. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sage. And in this episode, we are focusing on the most recent sessions of our Daggerheart actual play series, Oathfyre. So first, we're going to start out by asking our GM Ghost some questions, and then we'll dive into a couple of key scenes.
We'll also see some moments after the sessions with the cast, and then I get to roll some dice.
Okay. Jen, you do know that this is at the end of our episode, right? First, we're going to go under the table for our chat with Ghost. Ghost, welcome back to Tabling the Narrative. I am going to let Jen start you off with some of the questions and comments from the cast.
Yes, as always, there are some comments, because you're amazing.
I imagine they're going to get harsher and harsher as these sessions go on.
I can't wait till one of us dies next episode.
No.
You haven't watched what I said. You will later. You'll see it. Anyways, so Aaron said, no questions. Excellent GMing as always. Fargrim wanted to know how often you do your ribbit voices.
I mean,
you practice.
I mean, I've done plenty of Kermit the Frog voice as a dad and as a person who likes Kermit the Frog. I haven't dusted them off until most recently in Daggerheart introducing ribbits and Fargrim bringing ribbits into the story. So
yep.
Not as much as I should.
The third question I have from a player is from Zira. And it's kind of like a multi-part question, right? So the God of Splendor, what does it mean that the God of Splendor is shattered? I thought that it was just the symbol that was broken, but is it actually the God itself? Like, does that mean anything?
Well, it's just complicated because, I mean, it's canon. Who is the God of Splendor / the God of Light? Who's the God of Light? Who's the God of Splendor?
God of Light is Hal's character, Helm, but he gave it to his sister. He gave Echo and Elam the power, but then gave, I don't know, it's weird.
He gave you power to do something, but then he gave his power to his sister, who he made their twin, right? And so we talked a few episodes, but I think it was way back in the beginning. We talked about this idea of who knows what, right? Like you had this transaction between two characters that nobody in the world knows. So everybody in this world views Helm as the God of Splendor. So nobody knows that Helm gave up that to a sister. So you literally have a sister in the Accords. Nobody knows that they're walking among a god, and she doesn't seem to be willing to tell anybody. So she has a lot to say. But the other side of that is that, so the world believes that Helm is the God of Splendor. And so you have this group the Gilded Saints, who are named after Helm because his nickname in Lunestra was what? They called him Saint Flicker. So he was known as Saint Flicker in Lunestra. Nobody knew who he was. It was like his alter ego. And so the Gilded Saints are somebody who they picture as the god of splendor. They see him as a rogue. They see him as a thief. They see him as this other thing. They're sort of maybe perverting this image. So the broken symbol of splendor is them twisting the idea of the god of splendor. They're called the Gilded Saints because they worship Helm for this nightly ritual of drinking and bouncing around the rooftops and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So the symbol being broken is only really just a symbol that they adopted. I wouldn't say that they worship him, but they are idolizing the man, not worshiping the god, if that makes sense.
Got it. Okay.
I think that does make sense. Yeah.
I do want to say this though. Huge shout out to Zira because I knew that they had read it and done their homework. The minute I said broken symbol of splendor, they were on it. I was like, yes.
But
yeah,
Sage,
seriously though.
it's your
Yes. Okay. So I have a couple questions that, to be honest, are mostly mine. So first of all, I desperately need this, okay?
Okay.
Can you explain? Because I got some of it, but obviously this was like the audio was weird. It was like I couldn't catch everything. So can you explain the lore behind the mushroom that Trill gives to Halim?
I need to think about what I said. Trill didn't give it to Halim. Halim is aware of it. I really wanted Trill to have the mushroom. I knew canonically that Trill didn't have the mushroom. So what I did was say, after the shattering, the only immediate message that they could get to Trill was through Elend sending Trill that mushroom. So wherever Trill was in that moment, she saw that mushroom sprout. And in that instance, she knew that both Echo and Elend were okay.
I actually love this so much. This hits my heart because that's such a cool connection because in the Shattered God, Trill is kind of in this shattered statuesque kind of form, right? And there's this moment where Echo is kind of there, like processing this kind of almost loss of Trill, and Elend takes this mushroom from their cart, and this is a mushroom that Echo had given to Elend that Elend kept in their cart, and he put it on Trill's statue. And in the end, the mushroom, I think, came back to Elend, but I love that connection because it was between Echo, Elend, and Trill. So I think that's really, really cool. I
know that Echo gave it back to Elend in the garden in front of Trill, and Trill was aware of the mushroom. And so then having that like kind of golden color, not to mention like they needed a relic that they could bring. So that was their relic.
So this also brings me to another question that involves one of our other new gods post-shattering. Can you explain a little bit about the scarecrow appearing in dreams? First of all, for anyone who doesn't know who Dar is, and also just like, what are your thoughts about like including that in the dreams and the things that are going on in Oathfyre?
Yeah, well, we talked about it a little after the session as well. But, Dar's thing throughout all of the Shattered God was fear. I like this idea of him being a scarecrow. He had this like big scythe, like he had like a real like the vibes of like fear going. But like that wasn't his personality. And people kept having these like really dark dreams and stuff. I was prompting you all to tell me what your dream was about. And it was always something about fear or loss or things that they were feeling a certain way about, and at the end of each one, I would say, you see the shape of this scarecrow. And then I would prompt Tuleron, Dar, Sean to say something. And it was always so positive. It was always like, be yourself or, something along that lines. Flash forward to here and we have this opportunity arise where Halim is making mushroom tea and everyone starts sort of having these mushroom-induced vivid dreams. And then we asked for a volunteer. Fargrim volunteered and his dream was kind of like fearful. It was like gave the right vibe. And just in that moment, I was like, well, we're going to do it. Because these gods, even though like Dar's status is sort of in question when we start talking about what is a living god versus what is just a god, there's a certain level of immortality to consider. What are those gods doing? They're not just sitting around, right? They're still engaging in the world, engaging in those roles that they've been assigned to. And so him appearing in someone's fear dream, nightmare, and giving advice, then I think that's like right on par. And then to like flash forward, so that was in team 1,
Yeah.
and then go to team 2, and sure
Right.
enough, we had a dream, and Dar was there, and Toleran completely blindsided, which was the best. It made me
You
so
can see it
happy.
in his face. He was like,
He said it
Maybe
after
I'm
the session
biased.
too. He was like, yeah, I wasn't ready.
Oh. And like we had an amazing group to play with. Ghost, you did an awesome job GMing. The story was phenomenal. The ending was awesome to me, and so and made this huge impact on Arendor as a world. So to see that come into play in these very real kind of ways, and especially to see these like direct references to Echo and Alim and Dar, makes me really happy. It fulfills my heart. I have another question for you,
I hope so.
because this tickles me. It's just it's so funny to me in a quirky kind of way. I really want to know, how did you determine that you were gonna play Issa Thistlehorn? Like, what went in your head? I need to know.
I don't know. I keep forgetting what accent I gave her every time she comes up. She strikes me as like warrior nun, I guess is the vibe. Like old warrior nun training future warrior nuns. So she's very like strict, but like she knows that the mission comes first, you know. And she's very knowledgeable, but she's at a certain station where she should have more than what she has. You know, it's weird to me. I don't know if anyone else has thought of this. Like she's this like really knowledgeable older Idalinare monk who was sitting in a temple by herself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so there must be a reason, right?
or it could have been whoever's pulling all the strings up at the temple wanting to make sure that there weren't enough Idolinara here.
I mean, you're not wrong. Conspiracies.
I mean, considering that we know that we suspect an Idolinare to be responsible for the summoning of the Vornicraith, I find that kind of interesting, actually, that you bring that up, Jen. But I was curious about that because I loved her like disappointment in Mist's actions, or like her getting Halim's tea first, because it's like one of those things I wouldn't exactly expect from her, but she's like kind of silently excited to have this tea. It's just, I don't know. I just love that.
I think she was excited that somebody was making tea for her. It's not just her sitting quietly in her library drinking the tea that she made. But she's also like getting down to brass tacks because she understands that. I know I made the comment in that one episode of like, you haven't told them yet, have you? She knows that you did. So that's why I think she's like kind of like, all right, well, you know, so let's do this. But she recognizes that your group recognizes what this thing is and what needs to happen.
And I didn't go into too much detail. I'm just saying. She went into way more detail than I did.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if anyone makes it. It won't even matter if you guys don't make it
And
out
we all
alive.
gonna die anyway.
Wow. Thanks. This is a great vote of confidence.
Beetle lives. Like the
Juice.
beetle lives. Juice is gonna live, yeah.
Juice will take our legacy on. Yeah, so speaking of the Vornicraith, my final question for you is a little bit pointed. My question is once again about the eggs that actually already hatched. Can you tell us about like the turn it took? Because Halim, coming into this Vornicraith's kind of cavern lair, said that these eggs had already hatched, when technically they were not supposed to have hatched yet, and it would have been a million times easier, I assume, for us to destroy some eggs rather than these literal like worm creatures. So what did this change in your mind?
Well, yeah. So that that combat, the original plan was that you would come into that space and see, you know, like the mother Vornicraith looking over her eggs, and like the captured people that you were going to have an opportunity to save them. Sorry. So now,
No.
so story-wise, it brings something interesting. She told you it should take like a day or two for those eggs to hatch. So why did it happen faster? Maybe something else is at play.
More.
No. Okay, so basically how you killed the the innocent people and you also potentially killed us. I think, Ghost, that is all of the questions that we have for you today. A lot of them were just fun ones. I had some curiosities. We had like one serious one in there. So thank you again, as always, for joining us for Under the Table.
Well, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
So a couple of our questions for Ghost today were really focused on the lore of Arendor and how that impacts the story of Oathfyre.
Yeah, so we talked about the God of Splendor, what's behind that scene with the mushroom that references Echo and Elend, and Dar appearing in our characters' dreams.
Things like this can be hard to track unless you can go back easily and reference all the little lore details.
WorldAnvil.com is an all-in-one world building system that makes this a lot easier, which, by the way, this does remind me, this episode of Tabling the Narrative is sponsored by World Anvil.
Using World Anvil, you can record details about your world, like gods and religion, historical events, or things like where Divine Mushroom came from.
No, so it's not just lore that you can keep track of either. You can also document in-depth character details and map out your story timelines. You can even create interactive maps.
If you're looking for a single system to help coordinate complex information about your world, go to worldanvil.com.
So right now, if you use the code GHOSTLIGHT, you can get any yearly membership for 51% off.
We also added a link in the description for you.
Now, world building also plays a huge part in crafting everything from whole campaigns to stories to little scenes like the ones we're talking about next in our scene study. All right, so the first scene I really want to kind of pay attention to is Gein's dream. Gein's dream kind of starts with his time at the circus during the Great Famine. So Gein was essentially captured. He's a Mothman. He's from the garden. He's kind of a fairy type being. So he's kind of rare. And so he was kind of captured and forced to work for what Fargrim described as this mean old lady. And he, in this dream, is reliving his first kill. There were a few weeks of him not eating, being kept in a cage and things like that. And then comes this orc clown named Bobo, who kind of just attacks him with a knife. So Gein grabs this blade and just stabs Bobo repeatedly. In the ending of this, right, as Gein is in this dream standing over this bloodied orc named Bobo the Clown, he stops for a moment. And in that moment, there's this kind of space between dreaming and waking where he realizes that he is dreaming. And he looks up and sees this figure staring at him, this scarecrow with golden glowing eyes. So there's two things that I personally really like about this. First, it gives a great like kind of insight, obviously only to us as players and not our characters, but it gives a great insight to Gein's history. And there's also this note, this kind of reference back to Dar, which I loved.
But the choice that, like, for the word that Dar said in that moment, I do like the fact that he chose the word forgive to say in that moment, because he probably has had dreams similar to this in the past. Of course, this was a specialty from Halim that made it to where you had like intense dreams,
Right.
which makes me wonder what other teas he has.
This is a good point.
But yeah, so because I'm sure that Fargrim's character Gein has had issues with this moment. Because sure, he was being, he was captured. He was basically a slave, being treated poorly, not eating, as often as he should, etc. Right? Like all of that stuff. And they were like being really mean to Juice and stuff like that. So like that they were not, it was a very horrible situation. So, but he probably still has issues with that moment where he had to kill.
I think you're definitely right about Geen. I mean, first of all, Fargrim chose this memory or this dream that he had. And he mentioned somewhere in this same session near this scene that Geen does have nightmares. And I can only imagine what those nightmares feel like for Geen, right? And all of the things that he has been through and struggled with. I kind of like that word forgive, just for like focusing on forgiving himself. I wonder how Geen himself took it.
An interesting part about Geen and his character is, and when I say character, I mean his like Geen's personality and like what he values. I had asked him in a previous episode of Tabling the Narrative. If you missed it, you can go check it out. I had asked him what he was trying to like make deals with people whenever he first entered that room, the very first episode. And he was like, oh, you know, like the types of things he wants to get are like better medicine for like the common folk, you know, kind of just on his islands and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. You know, like it's not like a lot of leaders are focused on profit.
No, Geen is built himself up. He's I wouldn't say, I don't like this word to describe him because we're playing Daggerheart, but he's an entrepreneur of sorts, right? Like he created and got to his station by himself, by his own efforts. So I think that definitely makes him very different as a leader. And I think I think his past history and his past trauma definitely plays a huge part in that. And even the actions that we've seen him take during our sessions with Team 1 so far, with him being willing to sacrifice himself for other people, having this bond with Shurian, the Prince of Corvallis, who to kind of support each other and in their legitimacy to the Emperor, well, when he was still alive, and those types of things. So I think that kind of helps to craft his character, and it all kind of comes together. And I love this kind of dream being an example of that.
Shurian is also an example of a leader that wasn't born into that world necessarily.
Yeah.
I think he was like a noble or something, though. A noble's family. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, he was a bastard. I don't remember if he knew or not. Another scene that I just wanted to take a look at personally is that there's this, we talked about this briefly in Cast Lights, but there was this NPC who approached Team 2 as they were loudly discussing, after leaving the Dwarven King and the Imperium, like whatever, they were loudly discussing their prison break. And this dude comes up to them, and because the prison break is essentially to get Kale, who was at least is thought to have been the one to steal the scroll of Caldrathar, the Pact scroll. So this guy approaches them and is like, hey, if you give me money, I can help you with this. Now, Meadowlark at this time, what caught my attention was that Meadowlark at this time actually notices this emblem on a medallion that he's wearing. I don't remember exactly what the emblem was, but Meadowlark thought that it might be related to the Gilded Saints. And just kind of throwing that back here, the Gilded Saints were someone that Kale told Meadowlark when she gave them the scroll of Caldrathar not to trust. But this wasn't explored any further in the scene. Meadowlark didn't explore it. We have nothing on the emblem. So this kind of makes me wonder if it's true. Like, is this person in any sort of relation to the Gilded Saints? Like, I'm concerned that he either has plans to like kill Kale once they release her or prison break her, or if he's going to try to kidnap Kale. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with this dude. Dude, if I was Team 2, I absolutely would not have trusted this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Or like let him fall. Because there was a moment where someone caught him from falling down the cliff all of the way. I think it was Lev that caught him. I think so.
Yeah, I just let him die.
Yeah, I just let him die. But Lev wasn't the one that noticed the Gilded Saint symbol. They did talk about not trusting the Gilded Saints whenever they were first talking about the scroll and what the Gilded Saints like represent and stuff. So like they hadn't gone in that much detail. We did. They didn't. But they were like, yeah, we don't need to trust them. But Lev didn't see it. And honestly, I don't think Lev's the type of person that would have just let him die. I feel like he would have questioned him afterwards or paid extra attention. But Meadowlark did not bring this emblem to anyone's attention. He would have heard Meadowlark saying it. So unless Meadowlark has some sort of telepathic communication ability, which is possible in Daggerheart, but I don't know if Meadowlark can. But yeah, then that guy would have been tipped off that they're tipped off, about that. So it could be for the better. Hopefully Meadowlark keeps an eye out on his maneuvers throughout this process. They have started the jailbreak with Kale, but they have not finished it. They still have a fight to go through. I'm interested to see where that goes because Meadowlark was warned.
Yeah.
Do not trust.
I'm curious too.
Yeah,
right.
Like that guy might have literally made sure that there were going to be people there somehow. Like, yeah. I don't know.
That drives me crazy. But personally, I enjoy breaking down scenes like this because it lets us take a deeper look into the little details that could be important as the story unfolds, just like this.
I like seeing what the cast has to say about these moments as well. We were literally just saying, I wonder what this person.
Yeah, right. And that is actually exactly why we introduced Behind the Screen. It gives a glimpse of what goes on in the background of our Oathfyre sessions, like during our breaks or at the end of sessions as well. It also really shows us the minds behind our characters.
That leads us right into Behind the Screen, where you get to see our cast interactions during our live stream sessions of Oathfyre.
What, pray tell, if you don't mind, were your first thoughts and feelings about the session?
I thought I like sessions where there's kind of a variety of things. I mean, like the great thing about this session is it had the kind of the three classic pillars of play. We started off with social, we moved to exploration, and then, well, I mean, we're going to lead into combat next. But there was a lot of kind of good tension. When you have a story, you always have to have reaction scenes, right? So something big happens and then there's a reaction to it. A lot of times in storytelling, someone will feel like they have to keep going all the time, and to just have a sit down and drink some tea together and kind of think about and reflect what's going on is really important. So to be able to have that opportunity and just let it cook as long as it needed to was excellent.
Yeah, I really agree with that. One of my, I really enjoyed getting to sit down and have our characters actually conversate with each other and have interactions. And I feel like as a player, it definitely enriched my experience to be able to make connections with a couple different of our party members. So I really enjoyed getting to just play that out to its end.
That was a very well-balanced session, as most of your sessions are very well-balanced across the board. Everybody got an even spotlight, their little time to shine. We filled forward, but that's half the game.
I really enjoyed the picture of how you all entered that church, and I think it really spoke to the dynamic between you all. Yeah. It's half of you were trying to be quiet, the other half of you were just trying to get into the church.
I was excited to do some infiltration into the palace. I mean, the getting to the king was super easy because my crazy roll at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well done.
that helped. That helped a lot.
Half our rolls were crits.
Yeah, that was
That was
ridiculous.
crazy.
That was ridiculous.
I know Meadowlark was a little apprehensions about trusting me. In the last episodes, I was like, bring Meadowlark to the king to talk, to be like, hey, this shit's going down.
I was impressed also you grabbed the hunting story off my profile, so that was cool.
I like to use these cold opens as like little doorways into your backstory.
Actually, to be fair, to pull out a highlight as well, Lev, you pulling me aside during the rest was very much a highlight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, character building.
I just wanted an in-universe,
Conversation.
conversation about us meeting before and
Yep.
and me, attempting to trust you. I mean, yeah, obviously Lev would, because his wife is also a Furbolg.
When you have the big stuff, the big like cinematic, like let's go fight this giant creepy monster who's about to try, and we're going to do things in that combat where I'm going to try and jump in and protect other people, and they're going to do things to help me, and we're all working together as a team. It means so much more because we've already have these connections like kind of plugged in. If you just kind of walk in and and just say, we're just going to take down this monster because we're awesome, it's not as interesting. It's not as interesting for the players. It's not as interesting for the audience. So I'm really very, very impressed with the cast and the GM and all of this. It's just very well done. Hats off to everybody.
So the next question is, what do you hope for next session?
A dead Thrinkai.
Here's a complication.
And no
is
dead
that
people.
I wasn't planning on having those eggs hatch until
Yeah.
an undetermined time, but now that's just an added complication that I love so much.
Yeah, but they're just little larvas. They're little guys.
Yeah, but
That eat people.
For now,
they just we're in trouble.
yes, they do eat people. I imagine it being as like
I know
little
you won't like
pests.
this, but how about we just burn it all down?
Then we get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, survival
Yeah,
would be nice.
I honestly wouldn't mind the fight, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
Mo's been on
that's
the
I
bench.
just kind of I kind of made this character to fight, but I understand we probably need to GTFO.
We can do some damage
Daggerheart.
before we I get us out of there, or I try to get us out of there.
And I mean-
probably the sooner the better, but
If Ghost wants to stimmy us, all the Ghost really needs to do is say that cage is actually bolted to the ground.
Well, it's gonna be for the roll to decide.
Shut up.
Well, now we just need to get
I
to
bet
you.
Oh,
you
come
Mo
on.
can open it. Mo's strong enough.
Look, I
already
will
told you
always
I'm gonna
chase
roll
the
for it.
story, and the GM having more fear makes the story more fun.
And I may or may not have a insanely powerful magical object in my backpack.
You may or may not.
You may or may not. I know where I'm putting my money.
Oh, something's in there. Yeah, thank God you had that money, because then I looked at my gold and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was listening to a bag and a half and going,
The only thing is like that we don't know, like the players, characters, we don't know you had that dream. We still have
Right.
no idea you escaped a circus with a killer orc clown.
So now I'm thinking like, is Dar in every dream that everyone has when we're playing this? Is that just
Yes.
he just always no matter? The last question for you all from Jen and Sage is any updates to theories?
But my hunch, my gut feeling that it's an inside job from the mages or some secret organization that's not a cult.
Not a cult.
We don't know enough about the Emperor actually to know why someone would actually want to kill them, or are they just? Is it actually just about breaking up the peace?
For me, the only thing that's confirmed from a theory is that the Thrinkai was being used. Now, at first, I thought that the Thrinkai itself was an intelligent creature that was like talking to the dude. But now, obviously not. So, but that just led to the new theory of like someone controlling it.
Well, it sounds like Kale is being blamed for everything. Also, the introduction of it's Aiden, and you said how he smelled. It could be like poisons and stuff. So, do we know how the Emperor died?
sonic damage. He was basically exsanguinated on a ceiling by having massive vibrational force pass through his cavity, from what it sounds like. We don't know how, but above the level in the theories. I will add that I am keeping a very weather eye on Adrian with respect to the holy items as well. Just because the specific warning of don't trust the shiny hermits.
Yeah, though in the same way, would they have given that item back? You know, that basically just admitted, I took this from you, I shouldn't have. So to me, that's almost a positive character builder for Aiden, but of course, we don't know.
We can lock him in one of the cages and
I mean,
fuck off.
I was thinking that. Horribly enough, I was thinking that.
If they pull something, maybe. But,
Or
yeah,
when I
that
teleport
draft
out,
thing's a
I
little
can
hard
choose who I bring.
Best to bring him with us.
Well, yeah, in all fairness, they haven't screwed us over.
Yeah.
So,
More also, it means that we don't leave behind someone who knows an awful lot about us.
very true. Yeah, that would give every single one of us away, unless we killed them. Getting them out safe. Oh, or they double cross us after we get them out safely. But,
you guys have a lot to think about in the next 2 weeks.
Yep, we certainly do.
Yep.
All right.
Do you have any other questions?
Any closing theories or new theories?
I don't have any idea who killed the Emperor, honestly. Given the information we have right now.
There's an interesting number of question marks about the fact it was a Threnkai. Or at least a Threnkai was involved in that, because that is a bloody weird variable to include in any theories, because if it's organized, how the hell do you get a Threnkai to do the right thing at the right time? That seems like it's not going to go too well in general.
I'm expecting, though, since that cold open was about me, that I'm gonna get outed soon. So, you guys probably don't know her whole backstory, but there's news about Reyna eventually at some point. So that has me a little wondering if that's gonna come up. But
bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone.
Aviento,
See
folks.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.
See you next
Take
time.
care.
See ya.
See you, bye.
Okay, Jen, I know you love all of these interactions with the cast.
Yep, I sure do. But Roll the Dice is also one of my favorites.
Okay, I honestly feel like we kind of love all of the different segments.
But right now, we're going to go straight into Roll the Dice.
Which, by the way, if you didn't know, this is where Jen rolls the duality dice and kind of predicts what's going to happen in the next sessions for both of our teams in Oathfyre. Time to roll the dice, Jen.
Okay. But first. This is our hope dice. Aha. Hope. And then fear.
I like the hope dice.
Rolling for team 1.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's with hope. It is,
Okay.
It's 8 with hope. With our battle with the Threnkai. So if someone dies, it's gonna be preventing someone else from dying.
Man, that sounds like me.
Or it could be, it's gonna be either that, or it's gonna be like a blaze of glory situation where they take out all of the larvae.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, Jen, but the only way I can die as a ghost is in a blaze of glory.
Anyways, it's gonna be one of those two, or technically it could be both. But I feel like someone's gonna die. So that's team 1's prediction. And roll the dice.
Yeah. I guess we'll see if team 2 is gonna fare better than us.
Time to roll the dice for team 2. Hey, it's not. It's with fear, but it's pretty good. It is a
What is it?
16 with fear.
Okay.
16 is good. They are definitely going to defeat the battle. Like they're gonna
Yeah,
easily
they're gonna
make it
live.
through. The with fear, I think, is gonna have to do with our mystery elf.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, he's gonna throw a wrench in it somehow. That's gonna make it not super great for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I'm happy for you, Team 2.
Yeah,
Great.
none of y'all are gonna die.
I really don't want to die.
I don't want to die either, okay? I really like this character, and she has so much going on involved with like her backstory and everything, and I really want someone to get to know her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But bonus, whenever someone dies from Team 1 next episode, according to my Roll the Dice predictions, yeah. We're gonna do a very nice special that's all about that character, so we can get to know them and learn their backstory and really just, do what was taken away from us within the story and get to know them. That'll be fun for next episode, right?
Why would you say that?
Anyways, I had a lot of fun this episode. Maybe not next episode, but I had fun this episode. I love how we got to learn a little bit more about the players and their characters this episode. It's good that we got to do that, considering both parties are in danger and a couple of deaths might be in store for us.
Jen, do not put that on us. Okay, we're gonna be fine. At least I hope that we're gonna be fine. Next time on Tabling the Narrative, we're gonna be looking at some of these same episodes, but we're gonna be focusing more on the players.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to delve into the story of Oathfyre. See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.